Danielle, it's me, T. So, this is a reading for Danielle. Thank you for sending me your picture, first of all. And thank you for entrusting me with doing a reading for you. Um, First of all, let me apologize for the bad lighting and the sound. Again, another hot day. My studio room is almost ready, so we're almost there. Let's just get started with what I see for you. And from day one, when you first said that you'd like a reading, I have been having things popping in and out of my head, so I'm going to start with some of those and we'll go along. And you take what you like, what works for you, and you leave the rest. And this is not magic. This is just me tuning in and out of a radio station, as it were. And yeah, I'm happy to be doing this again. Gosh. Okay, so the first thing that popped into my head was this neighborhood that I'm seeing. Um, it could be a neighborhood of your youth, actually, um, because I'm seeing sidewalks or pavements, and I'm seeing individual houses, um, and I'm seeing you, but I think that you're younger here, and it almost reminds me of a place where I grew up. Um, the houses seem similar. Like there's some one stories and two stories mixed up. Um, but I see you playing there. And I see you with two close friends. And I think that you held on to those two close friends. Um, I think that there was a bit of trouble there around maybe the like a sixth grade time period, um, where you got sick, um, where I don't know if it was in your stomach or your appendix or maybe your kidneys. I don't know if you got sick or punched, but I feel something in in the tummy or in the back there, that was pretty serious, um, that kept you out of school for a little bit. And I think that whatever this thing that was happened kind of shook your nerve. So whereas you were quite happy go lucky in so many ways, I think that whatever this was that happened to you caused you to not completely withdraw, but to just be more hesitant and careful, overly careful, um, because you weren't sure you could trust. Um, for some reason, you weren't sure that you could trust everybody. And I don't know if something happened to you during this sickness, on top of the sickness or the hurt, but it seems like it's around this part that emotionally something was traumatic to you, as well as physical. And I'll leave that there with you. Won't go too far into that. Um, I will just say that it's something that you still do go back to today and consider and think about. I think that you have done a lot of work, and you know a lot about yourself. I think that you have sought to know more about yourself, and been quite honest. You've become that person over time. Maybe in the early days, I think there may have been some denial, but I think now that you've actually gone inside and gotten to where you feel safe enough, if that's by somebody supporting you through that and helping you talk through that, or just you learning as you've gone. But to you sought to go after this and deal with it in some way, because it was getting in your way. And you have become a person that when things get in your way, you actually go towards them instead of away from them. So I see you attacking in a positive way some of these things. And I see you in the last 5 years, not not a huge amount of time there, in the last 4 or 5 years, um, huge growth spurt personally, um, reaching reaching out to more people than you ever had before, um, because you went through this period of withdrawal, um, to some degree. Again, I think you've always been friendly, and I think people would think that you were outgoing. I feel like we have some things in common here. um, it's like an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert kind of situation. But more and more, whatever was in your way has been shifted, and something's opened up, and in that, you've been able to move towards, it's like a whole new leaf here. A whole new leaf here. It's like you've, on top of all this, it's like you found out something about yourself that was always kind of there, but you just really recognized it in these, from here till about four 4 years ago, and you've opened up about this to a couple of people that you could trust. And as I said, in doing so, I think that it's caused you to like build yourself up. And I just see you like nightmares or terrors or whatever they were stopping or slowing down. So I just think there was some time where you were feeling disturbed. Um, so that's like the personal side of things where I see um, a lot of changes. There was just a time where you were just going along one foot after another. It was kind of like a slog. Um, but you did keep pushing through. But there were times where you wondered. There were times where you struggled. There were times when you thought it would be hard to go on. But you did. You continued on. You survived. And now you're on to this thriving portion. This thrive portion of yourself. So that's something that has been floating around, and I'm just like coming into that, and I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing an a man who's just a bit older than you, maybe a decade, a male influence that you have found that you could trust, which I think in the past may have been difficult, but there's somebody there that there's a love there. There's a love there, like out of out of gratitude, wisdom, and also this person treats you as a peer, though. They don't treat you as a child. They don't they don't hold your past against you. They they like all these things about you. Everything that you've been able to share with this person has been okay with them. And so over this time that you've known this person, which I feel like is a year, maybe 12 months, 14 months, um, this person, this person sits with you and just hangs out with you, and you share things. So it's not just this person who has wisdom and admiration for you. You have that for them, but they also have it for you. Yeah, they have this for you. So you're giving them something. It seems like you're able to help them in something they've been struggling with. And so in doing this, it's created some kind of a bond here, where it's, equal, equal. And that, I think, feels newer to you, in a lot of ways, where it is, you're not beholden, right? So you don't owe this person something. You don't feel that you owe this person something. And I think in the past, there may have been people who have done the guilt thing and made you feel like you owed a repayment of some sort. Um, but it wasn't really something that you should have had to have owed. That wasn't your fault. And it wasn't your issue. It was their problem and their issue. And yeah, I think there's been some anger around that, and maybe even some rage. But I think that you had to go through that to see. And go ahead and get good and angry about that so that you could then move forward. Um, because again, I just feel like there may have been a time where you were like, oh, maybe, yeah, I just, could have been my fault. It could have been my fault. There's things I did. I'm not that great of a, I don't know, just like kind of a, just not trusting yourself. But now there is this trust being built up. So with this relationship with this person also comes this ability to look, so even though in that 4 years where you've started to push forward and to start thriving, this person that you've attracted through all of that, has come along. They're around you, and I don't know. I don't know what you're doing with them right now. It could be iffy where they go in your life, um, where they belong. Yet you're not sure, but it's coming to you. It's coming to you, and you've had flashes of ideas of where you want them in your life. And I think that that's a really good thing. I see a puppy. I see a little pup. I don't know if this pup is a real dog puppy or a child puppy. It's funny. I don't know. But the word puppy does come to mind. Puppy, pumpkin. I don't know. But it is definitely one way or the other. It's someone or something cuddly, an animal or a person who is someone who you take care of and who is someone that trusts you and is like a child to you, and you watch out for them, you give them information, and you have protected them. You have enabled them to have protection that they wouldn't have had otherwise had you have not started to push ahead and 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 open those doors and to start knowing where you stand with some of this past stuff. And so, right, so I've got a decade older person and I've got a younger person. I feel like it's a male influence, um, but it could be a woman who has, who just has more of a masculine vibe um, to her. Um, but it is definitely somebody that it gives you such a good feeling inside to watch over. And I just want to say you're doing it right. You're doing it right. Yeah, you are. You're doing it right. And there's this also work wise. There's been a change as well. I think that there's been some sort of a change in what you're doing. Um, Even if you're in the same industry, you've changed a position in the last couple of years. Um, you've progressed, but also you pushed for this. You were like, wait a minute, no, I'm going to push ahead for this. Um, because I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And once again, you went outside your comfort zone. It's like, it's like these last 4 years till now have been all about dancing outside the edges of your comfort zone and beyond. Like, Huey. What have you done? What have you done, Danielle? I see. I see a truck. I just see a white or a pearlescent type of truck. Um, I'm just throwing things. It's kind of like I would do as an automatic writing, we call it, and so it's just I'm just throwing. There's there's a gray interior or a black interior. These are I know they're common, but there's something about this vehicle that is rewarding to you. Um, how it's rewarding to you, I don't know if it's because you've been able to earn this now and you've been able to get something that you always wanted, because you've changed these positions and you have grown financially. You want to grow more financially, yes, for sure, you do. And you can, and you will, and you will. And I think that you're thinking that too. I think that this is on your mind. Um, like, I do think that you've done something that to where you trust yourself finally. So if you trust yourself, you're knocking on doors you wouldn't have even looked at or walked past before. You're going into neighborhoods and cities that you've not gone to before because you can. Yeah, there have still been some times where a couple things have knocked you back a little bit, given you a bit of a I don't know if it was triggering or caused you to flash back to a difficult time, and it slowed you down a little bit here and there, but it did not stop you. It did not take you back to first base. That did not happen. It might have been a fear of yours, but I think that you have seen now that you can have a moment. It can be a moment and it can last a while, but you can draw. You've got a toolbox and you've got some tools in it. And I think you also, I'm going to say that it's important to you that you know what you don't know. Like, you know what you don't know. And that's okay. Like, you'll find out. You're like, I'll just figure this out then. I will damn well figure this out. And now I'm seeing 3 kids, 3 children. 3 children. There's mittens. I don't know why. I'm going to say there's mittens. Then I see these 3 children. I see laughter. I see a bond with these three. These 3 all stick together. They belong to you in some way. And it'll be the oldest one who has the most wicked sense of humor. Maybe has been the most testing challenge. Maybe, let's say that. I'm just going to throw that one. And let's see. I'm going to pause for a second and I'll be right back because I think we're going to hear a banging for just a second. So let me pause you. Okay. I'm back. All right. No, it won't sound like something's going to crash. So there we were with 3 kids. Yeah. You taking care in some way. And they're just around you. I just see them around you. And I can't say if it's a mom thing or if it's a mentor thing or if it's a fostering situation. In any case, you're fostering growth to these young ones and you're giving them something they really need. They are kids to you. So whatever that is, they could just be youngins that so happen to all be ones that you are giving. You're giving your experience to, and you also are giving a kind of a mom vibe to them, because it's just a kind of a maternal kind of thing. Right, so an older lady, yeah, she was older when she passed. Not definitely not here where you can see her anymore. But I think that you do feel her around. Uh, is she knitting? Is she making you something? I know grandmas all make things, but is she making you something that you wore just to make her happy? And you think about that. Did you do something for her that would have made you feel a bit geeky or something, but because you would tumble for her, I like to say, I'll tumble for you. For her, you would do it. For her, you would do it. And she was absolutely special to you. Absolutely special. There's a little bit of jewelry here. There's a little bit of jewelry here. Did she leave it with you, or you got it somehow? And it's something precious. It's like a keepsake, right? But the word model comes up, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Modeling. What is that? She built things. Did she not only like create girly kind of things, but did she also do gardening and like make things, like actually hammer things with her hands and stuff? Um, but this is a female, not a guy. So it would have been quite unique in her time, but she was quite independent, and I think she did things that she wanted to do, and if she wanted to do something, she did it all the way up until she couldn't anymore. And I think that she went all the way up till she couldn't anymore, and then she just went. She just went. But she was like so there, completely there in so many ways, until she left. And I think you get these feelings. I do think that you get these times where you are feeling her. And I think that is her. Jane or Janice. J. J is for her. There's something there. And I feel a hug. I'm getting a hug. Beautiful. Yeah, she's beautiful. Really beautiful. Okay. There's butterflies, so that does mean to me that it's a kind of a back and forth thing, that she made such an impact on your life that in some way she shows, we used to say, oh, I see my mother coming out of my sleeve. My mother's hand is coming out of my sleeve. That's an old time saying. I'm old. But it's almost like you're saying, oh, this is my grandmother's hand coming out of my sleeve. I swear. I swear I'm more like this older woman more and more every day. That's funny. Like that that somehow she left you these things, physical things, but also these other things that you still draw upon. So, yeah, I do think there are some physical treasures, but I think there are some other spiritual and life skill treasures, and just hellacious, great moments that were of comedy. I don't know what it is, but it is funny. I don't know. There are some jokes between you. I don't know what she did, but I want to like laugh cry. So I feel like you, I want to laugh cry because you love her so much. It hurts, but you love her so much. You remember the laughter too. And so it's like a laugh cry feeling. Okay. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. Metal rods. Metal rods in in someone's body. I'm not sure if it's in your body or not. Somebody close to you, that there are some metal rods. Um, but it's okay. It's getting all better. But there was a time where metal rods were needed. Um, but it's all right. And I have to just keep saying, you're all right. You did this. You did it. So, yeah, a little, yeah. I'm a little tiny bit emotional. That's just me, because I'm a crier and a laugher. So anyway, Danielle, that's it for now for the reading. Okay, and it's all right. Yeah. Okay. I'm leaving it right there. While my face is like this with what I feel. And you take this with you. What I'll do is I'll first make this private, and then if you tell me it's okay to make it public, I will. And if you decide not to, I'll just ask you to come back to say that you chose for it to be private so that people know that's your choice. Um, because it's yours, it's for you. Okay. So, have a good rest of the day and night, and I will talk to you again very soon, I'm sure.